Hey guys, so today we're gonna do a deep dive into Amazon PPC auto campaigns specifically. So what I'm gonna share with you in this video is how to set up profitable auto campaigns. So you'll see me behind the screen, all the actions that I take, every step of the way. I'm gonna show you how to set up those auto campaigns to make sure that once you launch auto campaigns, they're actually profitable and bringing in sales for you right off the bat without you having to spend a lot of unnecessary cash just to keep them profitable. So I'll reveal one strategy that is going to help you massively cut down ACOs and just improve the overall profitability of your campaigns. And then we're gonna talk about how we can move all of these highly converting search terms from your auto campaigns and move them to manual campaigns. So that is going to ultimately help you make more sales and just increase revenue for your Amazon business. And we are also going to talk about the concept that is called keyword harvesting, how this thing works, and yeah, then we're gonna just really do a deep analysis of auto campaigns. So yeah, without further ado, let me hop right into my computer. Although this video will heavily focus on just auto campaigns, I think it's really essential for us to get familiar with the key differences and major things that separate both targeting types, that is manual and auto. So let's briefly go over that now. So manual is going to allow you to choose keywords that you want to advertise on. All right, so you can basically pinpoint and select certain keywords that you want your product to show up for. All right, and with auto you don't have that control because Amazon will automatically show you for search terms based on your listing and the information that you put inside the listing. So you don't really have that control, and you'll be randomly shown for all sorts of different search terms, and then the second thing is that when you are launching manual campaigns, you have the control over how much you bid for each specific keyword. So you can set a different bid for each keyword based on the performance, and how good it's performing. But with auto, you can't control bids for each keyword. You don't have that functionality. You can only set a bid for a targeting group, and targeting group will be comprised of a lot of different search terms, but you can't really granularly control the bid for each keyword as it is in manual campaigns. And then the last thing is that manual will be more scalable oftentimes, because you can always adjust budget without really compromising on the performance of your campaign, and bumping up ACOs. Once you find the search term or keyword that works and generates profitable results for you, you can scale very quickly, adjust the budget, or raise budgets and bump up bids without really having to incur a cost of worse ACOs. Whereas with auto, it's not that scalable. Things might really fall out of place when you start raising bids suddenly, because Amazon might decide to show you for all sorts of different search terms, and the performance might drop down as you increase these budgets. And especially if you start bumping up bids for auto campaigns, this might really have a negative impact on your performance, because all of a sudden you are showing up for all these unrelated, loosely related search terms, and you need to then put a lot of negative keywords, control the budget just to keep the campaign going profitable. So that would be the major differences between these two campaigns, and I will not tell you which one is better. They are both very important for your Amazon business, and no one will tell you which one is better, because you can't really rely on one campaign type more than another. So you need to be running both of them. But this video will focus only on auto campaigns, and we're gonna discuss later on how to Alright, now we need to clarify one concept that is really important for you to get right out of the gate. So that Amazon PPC, Amazon SEO, and listing optimization, that they really go hand in hand, right? So they are closely related and connected to each other. And the thing is that ever since Amazon has introduced their algorithm, they've been crawling all this information from your product listing, and
what does that mean, right, for you? Okay, so when you launch any campaign, especially when it comes to auto campaigns, Amazon will use the information that you have on your listing to actually come up with different search terms that your ads will be triggered by. So they will show you for all search terms that they deem relevant based on the copy of your listing, you know. And if you go in and try to edit your listing, you'll see that there are a lot of different fields that are populated for you, and you can fill in that field, right, all these fields with specific words and keywords, right, and that is going to really send a signal for Amazon to determine what your product is all about, you know, what keywords they should show you for. So the way you build your listing and the information that you weave into your listing is going to dictate your product's relevancy for different keywords. So that's really important to know and figure out this concept, because it's going to actually dictate and determine your performance that you are going to get out of auto campaigns. So we first need to check if we can even generate or expect to generate profitable results from auto campaigns before even considering launching these campaigns. So I will show you in a second how to come up with and use this method, you know, to check if your listing is well optimized and is it built correctly with the correct information, or you actually need to go ahead and edit your listing, you know, and change the information about your listing before launching those campaigns. Right, so the way we're gonna check if your listing is relevant is by going to the advertising dashboard. So come on to this page, right, and you'll click create campaign. Now we'll select sponsored products. You can skip the step, don't touch the name, we don't really need to change anything here, just add the product. Okay, so select the product that you will be advertising or promoting, and then scroll down, choose manual targeting for this example, and scroll down. Now what you want to pay attention to is this section, keyword targeting. So make sure to select suggested. And as you can see, there's a lot of keywords that Amazon is suggesting for you to target, and how they did decide to come up with this list. So based on the information that you put inside your listing, your backend search terms, bullet point, title, description, all these different fields that are keyword packed, right? They will show you these different search terms that they deem will be relevant for your product. So, and the way they come up with this search term is by analyzing your listing and just, you know, checking what information is inside your listing. So that is really important. If you see that there is a big alignment between these search terms and what your product is really, then you can actually consider launching auto campaigns, because high chances are that you will be bringing in profitable sales, right, from auto campaigns. But if you see that these keywords, they don't make sense, most of these keywords, they are actually not relevant and specific to your product. They probably are showing up for a different kind of product, right? Maybe you are selling actually a organic baby lotion, and you might see that, okay, a healthy snack search term pops up. Of course, in this case, it's not like that, but you might see that, okay, even though I'm selling one product, these suggested keywords that are showing up here, they don't really make sense because it is for a different type of product. If there is a big alignment between these search terms, right, that are popping up here and your product, then you don't need to worry, you don't need to be afraid about, you know, burning through cash. You can just go ahead and launch your auto campaigns just fine, you know, they will be doing very well. Alright, and now we are going to set up campaigns. So once you come to this page, you will have to select your campaign name. So I like to keep things simple and include a few different details. So I like to start off with the product identifier, just so I know what product this campaign belongs to. So if I'm selling, for example, peanut puffs, so I'm just gonna put in peanut puffs right here in this column, so I can recall this later on. Then we'll have to add some more information. So SP, I like to indicate the campaign name, right, or campaign type actually. So in this case, we are launching a sponsored products campaign, so I'm gonna put in this information as well. Then we'll have then we are going to grab the ASIN and also add this to our name because we want to have the option to actually find campaigns and, you know, be able to locate campaigns by having the ASIN. So you have that option. You know, if you put the ASIN right here in this ad group name, you can find the campaign by the ASIN number, right? And then we are going to also specify the targeting type. So in this case, we are launching an auto campaign, so I'm gonna also add this in. And then you are going to select the product. So go ahead and select the product, add this right here that you want to promote. All right, scroll down, choose automatic targeting, and then you can actually go ahead and set bids by targeting group. So this is where you have the freedom or option to select a different bid for each targeting group, although I would not recommend you to touch this right now. But you have 4 targeting groups, right? Close match, loose match, substitutes, and complements. And what does this mean? So as the name implies, close match will show you for different search terms, right, that are closely related to your product. As you can see, there is an example. So if your product is Doppler 400 count cotton sheets, they could show you for search terms like cotton sheets and 400 count sheets. So the thing is that it has to be very closely connected to your product. The search term that is going to be triggered has to be very like specific to your product. Loose match is something that is a little bit more far away from what your product is. So they could show you for different search terms that are loosely related and not that specific, or you know, they don't quite align with your product. So yeah, that's going to show you for different types of search terms as well. And then substitutes will show you for product ASINs, right? So this targeting group, substitutes, and complements will show you for competitors ASINs that are relatively specific to your product. You know, that is the function of each of these targeting group. And then yeah, you have the option to set an individual bid for each targeting group. But for now, I would not really try to adjust bids because we don't really have the data to justify our decisions, you know. And later on, as we gather and collect some more data about, you know, our targeting groups and about this campaign, you can actually go in and change the targeting group based on the performance, right? But for now, we can't really make a call on what like bids we should use for each targeting group. So we are going to choose a default bid, and each targeting group will inherit this bid that you set right here as a default bid. You can use a suggested bid right here, you know. So it shows me 86 cents as a suggested bid, so I'll probably leave it here. And now you can scroll down and you'll see that you can add in some negative keywords. So the same concept applies right here. Since we don't really have any data about this campaign, right, from the past, we are not going to touch this section and just leave it empty because we don't really have data, as I mentioned, to see or, you know, identify which keywords we are not really converting for, or like which keywords are not relevant for us. So we are not going to make a call on, you know, whether this keyword will convert or not. We still need to look at the data, and then, you know, based on the data, we can make the right decision, you know. Because the thing is that you might exclude the keyword, but this keyword might be actually converting for you, even though you are thinking that you are not relevant for that search term. When you look at the data, it might be the complete opposite, right? So I would just not really tinker with this section right here. Just leave it empty and move on. So scroll down the page, you will have right here to choose the bidding strategy. So it's really important that you go with the right bidding strategy, and I would suggest you to go with dynamic bids down only. And the reason for that is that we want to maintain ACOs and be very cautious with how our budget is being spent, you know. The thing is that if we go and select up and down, Amazon might suddenly decide to bid 10x than what is our bid, so they might raise your bids. As you can see, it says right here, Amazon might raise your bids by a maximum of 100%. So if you are bidding around $1, as you can see, this actually bid might come at $2 in the end, you know. So you will be charged $2 just for a click from your auto campaign, and the goal is not to spend as much money, and you know, this bidding strategy is more for visibility, not rather than profitability. So we are not really concerned about visibility with this campaign, since we don't really want to show up for as many keywords. We just want to extract keywords that are working and performing well in this campaign, sorry. And then we are going to actually take all search terms that are converting well for us in this campaign, and then we are going to move them to manual campaigns, where we are going to actually have more control over our bids, targeting, and placements, you know, all of those things, and also budgets. Alright, so as you scroll down, you'll have to actually select the campaign name. So don't reinvent the wheel. You can just use the same name as your ad group for the campaign name. Okay, so use the same name just to keep things simple and organized. And for a daily budget, you can go with anywhere from $20 to $50. You know, it really depends on how much money you can allocate to this specific campaign. So you can go and start off with, you know, $20. And the good thing is that you can always come back to your campaign and readjust the budget. So you can either raise daily budgets or decrease the budget, you know. So you have this option whenever you want. You can always go back to your campaign and adjust this, you know, based on the performance, you know, of your campaign. So I will set $20 just to start with something, okay? And you can also launch this to other countries. So if you're selling in Canada or like Mexico, you have the option to, you know, launch this to other countries at the same time. So yeah, and that's pretty much it when it comes to the creation of auto campaigns. So it's really simple. As you can see, you have to actually apply the same settings as I've showed you right here to make the most out of this strategy. So once you get these steps and options dialed in, you will have to launch the campaign, and then yeah, we are going to wait for around 3-5 days so, before we touch any settings and, you know, mess up with any of these settings of our campaign, because we need to wait for around 3 to 5 days just to collect more data that we can then, based off, make adjustments to this campaign. So we are not going to touch for any settings for around 5 or 3 days, because we need to be able to collect data. And if we actually start messing up with settings of this campaign, we might really interrupt the data collection process, and this might actually show us diluted and skewed data that is not really accurate, you know, since you made some decision and you don't really know how this affected your campaign performance. So the thing is that we don't really want to touch any campaign settings for now. We are going to make optimizations after around 5 days. All right, I'll be back and you will see how I actually go about optimizing these campaigns when we gathered some data. Alright, so how do you now optimize your campaigns that you've gathered some data? Hopefully it's been some time since you launched your campaign, maybe 5 days passed by, you know, gone by, and now you need to obviously take the necessary steps to boost the performance and maintain the profitability of your campaign, right? And make the campaign basically profitable. So what we're gonna do is come to the campaign, so click into your campaign, and then we'll actually click on this ad group. All right, and now we're gonna head over to the search terms tab, and we're going to see some data. So there should be some data available to you. So in this case, as you can see, since I've launched a new and a relatively fresh campaign, there are not a lot of search terms, but in your case there should be a lot more search terms that should show up here. And what we're gonna do is basically take a look at search terms that are getting a lot of clicks. They're generating a lot of clicks, but they're not bringing in any sales for us. Those search terms that are bringing in clicks for your brand, but once the customer clicks, they don't end up buying your product. Those are just search terms that are inefficient and irrelevant for your product. So we want to exclude our product and make sure that it never shows again for those same search terms, right? So now we're gonna sort all the data to identify search terms that we need to exclude, right? So what we're gonna do is basically apply filter for orders. So go ahead, select orders, and then set this as equals and type in 0, right? So that basically means we're gonna take a look at search terms that got 0 sales. And now we are going to sort this by the clicks. So from highest to lowest, make sure that you sort in the right order, and you'll be able to see right at the top there should be some search terms, right, where you can see, okay, maybe we've got 10 or 15 clicks, or maybe even 20 clicks, but at that point it still haven't brought you a sale. So what we're gonna do is just exclude this search term, right, and put it as a negative search term, so our product is not going to be triggered by the same search term ever again. So all you have to do is just identify search term. So obviously you need to figure out and determine what is the threshold after which you should negate that search term, right? But it's really dependent on your product, so it's by product to product basis, but I would say a good threshold that after which you should put those keywords as negatives is around 20 clicks and more, right? You can really exclude some search terms if you go and start negating them after 10 clicks, but I would say a good starting point is around 20 clicks, and it obviously depends on your product, so you need to figure out that threshold for yourself. But just to be careful, we're gonna exclude all search terms that got 20 clicks but they don't have any sales associated with them. So as you can see, I'm just gonna use this as a rough example. As you can see, I don't have any search terms with a lot of clicks, but let's say this was our search term, right? We're gonna copy this and put it in our notepad, and we're gonna just, you know, capture all the keywords that we don't want our product to show for. Okay, so let's say we found we collected 3 search terms, and now we need to negate them. So what we're gonna do is move on to the negative targeting tab, and now we'll click on this add negative keywords, and we'll put right here in this section all these non-relevant keywords, right? And now you need to decide as to whether you will put this as negative exact or negative phrase. And so what is the main difference between how negatives work? So negative exact is going to basically be just the word, right? So if you set if you put FODMAP as negative exact, or like keto snacks, right, your product will not show again for this search term for this exact keyword, right? But if we put this as negative phrase, then what will happen is that any words that come after this phrase or before this phrase, right, and they go in sequence format, they will also not be triggered by our ads. So we can prevent for showing up on this search term and similar ones, right, that basically have some words after this phrase or behind this phrase, you know, before this phrase. So that's how basically negatives work, and they will help you really skyrocket your sales and maintain that profitability, you know, goal that you've set for this campaign. And this will help you avoid a lot of wasted ad spend, right, and help you achieve those profit goals over time, right? So that's how you take an additional step to prevent your money from flowing to inefficient positions and keywords. So we're gonna add this keyword, and just like that you click save, and there we go, we added that keyword as a negative. So that's how you take the step to, you know, maintain your performance of the campaign and make sure that your ad budget is being distributed to profitable search terms. So what you want to do is come to the targeting tab, and this operation should be implemented to your regular PPC optimization routine every 30 days. Okay, so every month you'll go to this tab and make adjustments. So what we're gonna do is adjust bids, right? So you will either raise bids or decrease bids based on these key KPIs. So we will look at ACOS as a defining metric for our adjustments, So ACOS will be the most important metric that is going to come into play when we decide to make adjustments, right, to our bids. So what you want to do is just look at campaigns, at targeting groups, that have high ACOS, and you will reduce this by 10 to 20 cents. So if your bid is around 83 cents, we're gonna decrease this to 73 cents or 63 cents, right? So you want to take a look at all targeting groups and that have higher ACOS than what your target ACOS is, right? And you'll decrease bids for those specific targeting groups. And if a targeting group has very low ACOS, you don't really need to adjust the bid. You can slightly increase this, but for auto campaigns we don't need to raise bids very often, because we are focused just on farming and harvesting keywords from this campaign. So yeah, our focus should not be like to achieve our ACOS. We only want to monitor these targeting groups and make sure that we are adjusting bids for targeting groups that have not ideal ACOS, higher than what is our goal. So yeah, and you should repeat this operation, as I mentioned, every month. So yeah, just go ahead, monitor the performance, and adjust bids based on how it's performing. So that would be it for the optimization part. Okay, so go back to the search term tab again, and for this example we are going to export this data to a CSV file. So let's click on this button and we're gonna download this to our computer, so you can pull this up in an Excel sheet. Alright, now that you opened up the Excel sheet, we're gonna sort all the data. So let's sort all the data and filter this. Okay, let's go to orders and make sure to apply a filter for orders greater than 1. Okay, and the reason we want to do this is we need to find all search terms that have brought more than one orders and at good ACOS. So in this case, since I don't really have a lot of data associated with this campaign, no search terms showed up here, but in your case there should be some search terms that got at least 2 orders or more and they have low ACOS. So anything that has lower ACOS than what your break-even profit margin is, okay, so you should know what your break-even ACOS are. So any search term that is generating or bringing in sales at lower than your break-even ACOS, you want to take this search term, right, and you basically are going to let me remove this filter. So let's say, okay, I will assume that this is the search term that got 2 orders. Okay, so you're going to copy this search term, and what you're gonna do is put it in your notepad and repeat this process again for all search terms. So let's say I collected 4 search terms, and now we are going to migrate and create manual campaigns with all these search terms. So I'm not gonna show you how to set up manual campaigns. I will cover this in the next video, where I'm gonna dive deep into the nitty-gritty of setting up profitable manual campaigns and what you should keep in mind, what settings you need to look over, and in general how to set up good manual campaigns. But the premise is really, you are going into your campaign, you are extracting this data, you are opening up and looking for search terms that have got more than 1 order, and they need to have reasonable ACOS. So in this case, as you can see, like vegan food, it has like, so when I convert this to a percentage, it doesn't make sense, but it's got like 9.5% ACOS, which is phenomenal. But yeah, the premise is you are going to this campaign, your auto campaign, and you are trying to find and identify all search terms that are bringing in sales for you, but you are not yet targeting them in manual campaigns, and once you put them in manual campaigns, you'll be able to make more sales and just control the bids for each keyword. When you are launching or running auto campaigns, you don't have that option to control your bids, so that is one downside of auto campaigns. But yeah, you repeat this operation every 30 days, every month, and you'll try to find more search terms. The reason why we sort this data or filter down to orders than greater than 1 is because we want to find reliable search terms that are actually bringing in sales for us. There might be some nonsense search terms that got only 1 order, so they just accidentally sneaked into the data, and they're probably not going to be very specific to your product, because a lot of search terms will have generated 1 order, but they are not very relevant to your product. Oftentimes that will be the case. So we want to only concentrate or focus on reliable search terms, and when we sort this data to orders greater than 1, that really gives us a list of profitable and promising search terms. So that would be the reasoning behind why we sort this the way we sort this. So thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate your time, and let me know down below in the comments what would you like me to go over in regards to Amazon PPC, or maybe you have some kind of issue with your business, with your Amazon business, that I might help you with. So we can leave this in the comments down below, and make sure to subscribe to my channel, and be sure to smash that like button, because it's going to tremendously help Amazon's algorithm, promote my videos to more people and just help these videos gain more traction. So I really appreciate your support, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. So let me know down below in the comments what else you would like me to go over, and yeah, I will make a video according to your ideas. So yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye. And I just wanted to let you know that I actually run an Amazon PPC agency where we help Amazon brands and sellers scale to 6 and 7 figures in monthly revenue. So if you are making around 30 or 40k in monthly revenue, and you would like to grow your Amazon business without any kind of commitment, since we have a very flexible payment structure, we only charge a percentage of the revenue, or of course you have an option that you might give us a monthly retainer and then we manage your ads based on that, but we prefer to work based on a percentage of the revenue, since we then are incentivized to deliver better results for your brand, right? So if this is something of interest to you, you can go ahead, visit our website, and then you'll be able to schedule a free discovery call with my team. We will get to know to your brand goals, about your brand, if we find that we are the right fit to work together, we're gonna make some money together, so let's make some money together. Otherwise, thank you for watching this video, and yeah, that is really I try to put out as much content as possible, but there's only a certain limit, a ceiling of in terms of content that I can pump out. So I can only put out that much content, but I always try to provide as much value as possible to Amazon's community. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a nice day.